First, live, local, now, on Channel 3 News.
A North Hill zoning dispute now over.
I really like that we won.
Their protest over a corrections office that caught the governor's attention. And a long legal battle over property taxes.
We're not very happy, needless to say.
The ruling that means property owners on the beach should plan to pay up. Those are just some of the headlines we're working for you on this Friday. Good afternoon. Welcome to Channel 3 News First at 4, your first source for news at 4. People who live in North Hill are calling this a win. After weeks of protests, Pensacola's probation and parole office will not move into their neighborhood. At the direction of Governor Rick Scott, the office will stay in its current location on Davis Highway. Florida Department of Corrections Secretary Mike Cruz says they took the input from North Hill homeowners seriously, and the department is committed to keeping families safe. Channel 3's Cavante Smalls is live with us now with how those homeowners and families feel now in our first top story at 4. Hi, Cavante.
Good afternoon, Lena. You know, it's almost like a block party out here. We have the roses, we have the champagne on ice, and just take a look at all of the residents who came out for essentially this impromptu celebration. You know, ever since the news broke this morning that the probation and parole office will not be moving into North Hill, everyone can't wipe the smiles off their faces.
North Hill residents of all ages are smiling after learning the probation and parole office won't be moving into the Coca-Cola bottling plant next door.
I really like that we won.
For weeks, residents have remained steadfast and opposed the move. They didn't want to see thousands of offenders funneling through their neighborhood every month. They also had parking concerns, and they questioned whether zoning laws were being followed since the bottling plant is in a commercial zone. Probation and parole offices are to be in industrial zones.
There are a lot of issues in this, but the bottom line is that it's not zoned for that type of facility. So, you know, at the end of the day, those are the facts.
North Hill residents handed out flyers, voiced their concerns at City Hall, tagged the graffiti bridge, and waved dozens of signs to Governor Rick Scott while he was in town.
No, we didn't get to say much, but you know, sometimes actions speak louder than words.
Friday morning, the Department of Corrections decided to change course on their decision to move into the bottling plant. Instead, they plan to extend their lease at their current facility on North Davis Highway. This means this Department of Corrections sign will come down. Welcome news to much of the North Hill community.
I'm glad that it happened, and now I can start focusing on the things that I came home for on my 3-week leave period.
And now that the state, we'll see, there's a lot of excitement out there, but now that the state has moved out, what they're going to do, they're going to work with the landlord here for the landlord of the Coca-Cola bottling plant to help find a new tenant. So basically all of that money that was spent in renovations won't go to waste. Reporting live in Pensacola today, Cavante Smalls, Channel 3 News.
Cavante, thank you. A little distracted by all the support back there. You know, Pensacola Mayor Ashton Hayward supports Governor Rick Scott's decision not to relocate the probation and parole office into the North Hill neighborhood. The mayor said his administration was bound by law to issue the permits, but that he spoke to the governor directly about the neighborhood's concerns. Hayward talked to the media as well about the decision this afternoon, and you'll hear from him coming up on Channel 3 News at 5. It happened years ago on Okaloosa Island. Now the Florida Supreme Court saying that beach property owners in Escambia and Santa Rosa counties are going to have to pay millions of dollars in taxes. Some owners vow to keep on fighting, saying they're being taxed twice for their homes. And Will Kennedy has the latest in our second top story at 4.
It's been a long legal battle drawn out over the course of many years, but that fight may finally be at an end for property owners in Escambia and Santa Rosa County. The Florida Supreme Court has ruled that property owners for homes like this are going to have to pay up, and that could mean millions of dollars in property tax for our two counties.
Escambia County collected $105 million in taxes from Pensacola Beach property owners since 2004, but there is still $20 million owed. It's the same story down in Navarre, where Santa Rosa County stands to collect about $10 million. Half of those totals go to the county government, the other half to county schools, so it's a significant windfall. Property owners have been fighting this in the courts. Some are ready to give up. Others plan to stay the course.
We're not very happy, needless to say. We're happy that we live out here. We're not happy that we feel that we get double taxed. So we're just going to keep fighting it and see what we can do.
They've been getting bills each year. Most of them have paid a good faith payment. Some have paid the whole thing. Some have paid nothing over that time. And a lot of that was to stem the tide of the interest rate that also runs.
Depending on appeals and any further rulings, Escambia County could start collecting that $20 million in owed property tax as early as April 4th. With your Waste Watch report, Will Kennedy, Channel 3 News.
New flashing electronic speed signs have been installed on Bayou Boulevard in an effort to slow down the traffic. The posted speed limit for the stretch of Bayou Boulevard is 35 miles an hour. Those solar-powered signs start flashing if a driver's speed goes over 40. And people who live nearby say that happens a lot.
I have children, others on the street have children, and if you're out here, there have been many times kids and adults both have come flying in and skidded across on that side of the street. They've come into our yard a few times, so they just fly through here. It's dangerous.
Now, the main focus of those speed signs is to slow down traffic on that curve, where there are also memorial signs of people who died right there on that curve. A missing cell phone call is just one of the new details in the search for missing Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. Investigators are now looking into reports that the pilot of the flight made a cell phone call 8 minutes before takeoff on March the 8th. Now, they're not saying who that call was to or what it might mean for the investigation, if anything, but that they are exploring every angle. Meanwhile, Malaysia has asked for more search equipment. The United States, Japan, China, and the UK have agreed to help there. ABC's Susan Salney has more in your third top story at 4.
Another day of intense searching for Malaysian Airlines Flight 370 in the Indian Ocean comes to a close without any new clues about the jetliner's location. U.S. and Australian planes searched for hours and ships are en route to the area, a part of the ocean so remote that it takes 4 hours just to fly there from an air base in Western Australia.
We just landed from an 11-hour mission out to the search area. It's unfortunate to say that we haven't found anything out there.
What might have been a big break. Satellite pictures released by the Australians of debris possibly from the plane floating in the water are now 5 days old. There are concerns that whatever might have been there could have sunk or drifted hundreds of miles away. Parts of the ocean are more than 2 miles deep, or 14 Empire State Buildings stacked one on top of the other.
This is going to be a long haul.
For the families and friends of the 239 people on board, the wait is emotionally torturous.
With this uncertainty, you're in limbo, and every day you go from hope to despair several times, and it is just agonizing.
And there are new questions about why it took the Malaysian officials so long to move the search area to the southern Indian Ocean. A satellite company says it told those authorities more than a week ago that their initial search was in the wrong area.
I just can't understand why that information wasn't shared with everybody.
Senior law enforcement officials are now confirming that the Malaysian airline captain's personal flight simulator and one of his computers have arrived at FBI headquarters for analysis. Susan Salney, ABC News, Washington.
Coming up on First at 4, is your sunscreen actually blocking out those unsafe rays? Concerns that the FDA is blocking you from getting better sunscreen. And the First Lady is in China. We'll take a look at the focus of her visit. And we put you in charge for Choose Your News. Drones hacking phones, bucket lists for a dying dog, or school dress codes catching up with the trends. Find out which story you chose on our Facebook page when we come back. And remember, you can connect with us anytime you like. During the break, why don't you head over to weartv.com from any smartphone device. Make your smartphone just a little bit smarter.
First, live, local. You're watching Channel 3 News First at 4 in high definition with anchors Lena DeFlores and Chief Meteorologist Alan Strum. Channel 3 News First Warning WeatherNet is brought to you by Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram and Ailstock Whitcomb Crease and Overholtz. Here is Chief Meteorologist Alan Strum.
Well, good afternoon. We are live today from the fairgrounds. You might be able to hear a little bit of music in the background. That's not live, but we have plenty of live music to tell you about that's going to be coming up right here at Beulah Fest. So this is getting kicked off. They're still kind of getting ready. You can see the stage behind me in the background, and you can see we got plenty of space for people to hang out over the weekend. Lots of vendors as well, and even some rides back there in the distance. And of course, it wouldn't be Beulah Fest without, well, the sausage booth. So you can see it right here. That is the sausage booth, and sausages are $3. Hey, y'all, you got some sausages? They look ready to go. So, of course, people can come on in. Tonight it's $15 if you want to come, and tomorrow it's $15 before 7 o'clock. After 7, it is $20. All right, so here's who's going to be playing. Later tonight at 9:30, we've got Rodney Atkins is going to be taken to the stage right here. And then tomorrow night, we've got Leonard Skinnard at 9:30. And hey, we've got some afternoon entertainment as well. Tomorrow, the Charlie Daniels Band will be playing at 2 o'clock. And there's a lot of other music, too, mixed in with it all. So you can check that out online, and we'll be continuing to bring you live updates right here from the fairgrounds as we head through this 4 o'clock broadcast, as well as on Channel 3 News at 5 and 6. All right, we want to talk about the weather, too, and what we've got for you, because we've got a little bit of a mixed bag as we head into this weekend. We're going to see some changes with regard to our weather. So first, we're checking out a view here from one of our weather deck cams. That's out at Portofino on top of Tower 3, looking out over Santa Rosa Island toward the east. A beautiful scene there. Clouds starting to roll into the skies, though. That's going to be the case tonight. Downtown Pensacola, here's the view from City Hall, and you can see that the scene around downtown looks pretty good, looking at the Maritime Park. As you view the southeastern satellite and radar imagery, across the southeast, we've got a bit of cloud cover. We're not seeing any rain yet, so the weather's dry at this time, but the Futurecast says that's all going to change. So as we head forward in time, head into tomorrow, it actually looks like it's going to be a mostly cloudy day. So we'll stop it there tomorrow at 2:30 in the afternoon. Charlie Daniels will be playing at that time, and the weather looks pretty good. A little cloudy, but not bad. And then heading into Sunday, dry for the morning hours, but by about midday, as we take it into the midday hours, you see the color on the map. When you see color on our Futurecast map, that, of course, means rain, and we're showing plenty of that for Sunday. Rain chances are pretty high on Sunday. We're going with 70%. First warning 3D Doppler, though, right now shows that the weather is all dry. So we're dry across the area, and temperatures right now, you can see we're still in the 70s. It's comfortable. It's pleasant out here at the fairgrounds. So the temperatures are nice now. You can see what we've got across areas of northwest Florida as well as southwest Alabama. All right, low temps overnight. We're looking at generally 50s. Pensacola will see a low of about 56. Fort Walton Beach, 57 will be our low temp there. Crestview is going to see a low around 52, and Milton will see a low of about 55. Marine forecast looks pretty good for tomorrow. I tell you, there's a little breeze out here now. It's definitely blowing a little bit, but the things should be pretty calm tomorrow. So we're looking at calm winds out over the water. Seas are going to be around just 1 to 2, maybe just around a foot for much of the day, and the protected waters will see a light chop. Safe Shores report shows that the water is calm now, and the water temperature, it's in the low 60s. We saw a lot of swimmers out there. You guys are going to have to let me know if we have a beach cam shot. If not, we'll have it for you coming up a little bit later. It is up. Okay, great. I can't see it, but it's been beautiful. We've been watching it all afternoon from the WEAR TV studios, and now you can see it. So there we go. A nice scene there from our Hardee's Beach Cam. It's on top of South Harbor condos, as you know. So the 7-day outlook, here's how it looks. Tomorrow, high of 75. Now, if you're going to be one of those folks hitting the beach high is going to be closer to 70 degrees, so there is a difference. But overall, we're marking it as a high of about 75 tomorrow. Sunday, note the rain chance. That is up there. That's around 70%. So pretty good shot. We're going to see some rain, mainly during the midday hours. So it smacks us right during the middle of the day on Sunday. How about the cooler weather? You know, we're going to have another cool snap, even though spring has officially started. We've got a cool snap headed our way for next week. In fact, we could see some 30s. That cold night is going to be Tuesday night into Wednesday morning with some upper 30s posted. Wednesday's looking kind of cool, too, with highs only in the upper 50s. So notice that next week is going to be a little bit cooler, but this weekend, well, we've got some weather that's going to be pretty nice and warm with highs in the mid to low 70s. All right, I'm looking at the kind of the rundown of events here, and gates open at 4. So gates have just opened. It's quiet right now. There's not a lot happening at this time because the gates just opened up. But we've got some bands here coming up at 7:30. Branded X is going to play. And again, right there on that stage tonight, we've got Rodney Atkins will be taken to the stage with some country music and a full lineup here for tonight and tomorrow. I tell you, they timed it out perfectly because there isn't anything on the list for Sunday, and that's the day we are expecting rain. So, Lena, we'll be back with more live reports from Beulah Fest.
Traffic Watch, brought to you by Pensacola Honda.
Poor Alan, working outside when it's 72 and sunny. You just feel for him, don't you? Me neither. Let's take a live look outside. This is I-10 coming across the bay in either direction. Things are nice and clear, and it's also just a beautiful drive to look at. Enjoy that. Time now where we put you in charge for Choose Your News. Today on our Facebook page, you chose drones that can hack your phone. So we all know that you should protect your data and you would probably never share your password. But Lori Siegel shows us that your mobile device could be giving out the information, and those drones are right there to pick it up.
So you can see 3 devices or 3 mobile phones down below, and we're collecting data about at least those 3 people.
That's a hacker. He's using technology installed on a drone to grab cell phone information from people below. This technology has been used on cell phones and laptops. One day it could be installed in a larger aircraft. Think helicopters or small planes.
Down the road, and yeah, seeing lots of devices. It must be the people walking down the road.
He can also see your usernames, passwords, credit card information, and get this, in some cases, your home address.
So somebody who's walking around the park, that's most likely their house, or one of these houses here.
The tech on the drone is called Snoopy. We took Snoopy out for a spin on the streets of London.
It'll fly within a relative close distance of a person with a phone tucked safely in their pocket. And if they've left their Wi-Fi on, which most people do in my experience, their phone will very noisily be shouting out the name of every network it's ever connected to. So it'll be shouting out, "Starbucks, are you there?"
You can protect yourself by turning off your Wi-Fi. But if you don't, Snoopy can trick your phone and send back a signal pretending to be the network the phone is looking for. Then the drone can intercept everything the phone sends and receives.
So your phone's looking for Starbucks, and I pretend to be Starbucks. Your phone connects to me, and then I can see all of your traffic.
We tested it out on some dummy accounts we created.
And we can see here, it's logging into yahoo.com, so Yahoo Mail, and I created an account, Angela Smith, and there's her username, and her password is ABC123. So here's Amazon, also for PayPal. So PayPal, email address, username.
And Wilkinson hacked his own Facebook account to demonstrate what that would look like.
So let's pick on my Facebook account. So I can just say fetch Facebook profile, and from there I can do something like fetch all Facebook friends.
Wilkinson is an ethical hacker. He built the Snoopy drone to highlight insecurities in smart devices. Some of the things Snoopy can do, like steal usernames and passwords, are illegal. Experts say other features, like tracking location data, would probably not break any U.S. laws.
If the technology got into hands of criminals or bad hackers, which it may already have done, there's all kinds of things they can do. At the most basic level, they can track people through, through space and time.
In a world where drones fly and tech enables them to potentially spy, it's more important than ever to protect your data.
Guys, we're going to break in with some breaking news here. You are taking a live look at 3 Mile Bridge. You see that it's a mess. The problem is a car that has caught fire. You see lights right over the hump there. So if you're headed southbound, if you're heading into Gulf Breeze, both the lanes are blocked. That's going to back you up all the way to Bayfront, possibly up 17th as well. Now, if you are in Gulf Breeze heading into Pensacola, one of your lanes is blocked. I think you're looking at a fire truck possibly in the center there. And now we have video from one of our viewers here on our Facebook page. Let me see who left that for us. Can't read that, but thank you so much for sharing that with us. So now you're taking a look at the smoke there that he was seeing. I hope he was in a safe position to do that while he was driving, but you see that this is a mess. It's really going to affect your afternoon commute. So we're going to keep a close eye on that, find out what's going on. We're digging around details, but just know, there you go. That's the problem, that car on fire there. Just know that is happening live right now. This is, again, is your live shot. It's a mess. We're going to keep on top of that for you. Now, as I thank the person who, thank you so much, shared that video with us on our Facebook page, I'm going to look in and so I can give you a shout out. We also want to say congratulations to our Facebook fan of the day, Robert Flory. Hello, Robert. He has won 2 tickets to Pensacola Little Theater's Cabaret. Now, for your chance to be our fan of the day, oh, we'd love to thank you. Click on the Connect 3 button on our Facebook page. You will find us at facebook.com/WEARTV. Still to come for you on First at 4, the IRS is calling it the largest phone scam ever, and thousands of Americans have already fallen for it. Plus, a weird crime at a Walmart. Wait until you hear what a man is accused of doing to a stranger's foot. Ignoring sanctions from the United States and from Europe, President Vladimir Putin signed a law making Crimea a part of Russia. Putin said he does not see an immediate need for further retaliation for American and European sanctions, a sign that tensions might be de-escalating. The Russian economy already starting to suffer, though.
We've already seen a 10% wiped off the value of the Russian stock market this month, reports of capital flight and downgraded credit ratings. But the best rebuke to Russia is a strong and successful Ukraine, free to make its own choices about its own future.
Well, the U.S. sanctions go against 20 Russians and a bank there, so we'll continue to keep you updated on that story. Today, pardon me. Prompta, we're going crazy up there. That's okay. Let's move it right along. Okay, let's talk about First Lady Michelle Obama. She is in China today. Now, this is not an official visit. She landed in Beijing yesterday to kick off a week-long goodwill tour. The First Lady is expected to focus on education during her trip. She'll visit 3 cities and speak to students about cultural exchanges and the benefits of studying abroad. She also met with China's president and First Lady. Her mother and her daughters, Malay and Sasha, accompanying her on that trip. Coming up in our second half hour, a family dog shot by a deputy, why the sheriff says that shooting is justified, and a restraining order for a 9-year-old, why a grown man says he had no other choice. You're watching First at 4, your first choice for News at 4. Let's get you an update on a car fire on 3 Mile Bridge. I want to get you a live shot so you can see what we're talking about here. Now, if you're heading from Pensacola into Gulf Breeze, that's where you're going to run into the most problems. There are 2 lanes there, and they're both shut down for this. Now, an update from our partners at News Radio 1620 on Twitter says that the car fire is out, but it's going to be a while before they get things moving again. Now, this is video thanks to Mallory Shelton, one of your fellow Channel 3 News viewers, who posted this video on our Facebook page. So this was taken a few moments ago when the car was still on fire, and that's what you're dealing with. Now, if you're heading into Pensacola from Gulf Breeze, you're down to 1 lane, the center lane blocked by that fire truck there, and that's where you're seeing the problem. So either direction is going to take you a while. You can expect delays backed up into Gulf Breeze and into Pensacola, certainly on Bayfront, possibly up to 17th as well. Gosh, look at that. No word, though, if anyone was hurt here, so we're going to look around for you, try to get you details, hopefully no one hurt, and find out when they might possibly have this all cleared out of the way. Again, there's your live shot of 3 Mile Bridge. The fatal shooting of a dog by a Walton County deputy has stirred up a lot of emotions, as you would imagine, over the last 10 days. Well, today the dog's owner spoke with Channel 3's Laura Hussey. She has the latest on the story.
One fact is not in dispute. An 11-month-old dog, a pit bull named Ford, was shot on East Mac Bayou Road about 3 feet outside his owner's driveway. A Walton County deputy had been called to the house next door by a woman who said she was afraid to get out of her car because the dog ran up and started acting aggressive. The sheriff's office says while the deputy was investigating, the dog charged and lunged at him. They say he fired in self-defense. Ford's owner, Jonathan Aldrich, didn't see the incident, but says he got a different story from the deputy minutes after it happened.
He did not mention anything about the dog running at him full speed, didn't mention anything about the dog trying to attack him. I asked him if he was attacked, and he said no.
The sheriff's office says the whole incident was recorded by a camera on the deputy's sunglasses. That's still under internal review. A spokesperson says it shows the dog charging the deputy.
I have personally seen the video, and the deputy was justified in what he had done in using self-defense.
A sheriff's office spokesperson says that video from the camera on the deputy's glasses should be released sometime next week. In Walton County, Laura Hussey, Channel 3 News.
A fire at a Jersey Shore motel this morning killed 3 people. 3 others were seriously hurt there. That fire went through the roof of the Mariners Cove Motor Inn just before 6 o'clock this morning. Several rooms were occupied at the time. Now, there's no word yet on what started that fire or whether or not the people inside are safe. The body of Courtney Cash, the great niece of music legend Johnny Cash, has been found stuffed inside a chest in a Tennessee home. Investigators with the Putnam County Sheriff's Office say that she was stabbed to death. Her boyfriend, William Johnson, was also attacked, and investigators say the couple went out with their friend, Wayne Mascarella, on Tuesday night, but when the three returned home, there was some sort of an argument, and Cash and Johnson were both stabbed. The couple's young child was also at the home at the time. Johnson was able to grab the toddler and drive himself to the hospital. He's now in stable condition. The founder of the Westboro Baptist Church, infamous for anti-gay protests at military funerals, has died. A spokesman for the church says 84-year-old Fred Phelps died of natural causes at a hospice facility. The minister led outrageous protests that blamed almost everything, including AIDS and the death of our U.S. soldiers, on America's tolerance for gay lifestyles. His death sparked a lot of reaction in Topeka, Kansas, where that church is based.
Even if we have disagreements, we have to get over it and see the higher purpose of respecting each other.
He has just been such an evil-spirited man and caused so much harm and pain to families that didn't deserve it.
Maybe we can move on and Topeka could be known for something besides Fred Phelps.
Phelps' daughter told a Kansas radio station that there will not be a funeral for her father. No word yet from the church leaders if they will continue their controversial protest now that Phelps has died. Oh, wait until you hear this weird crime at a Walmart store. A man was arrested after a woman says that he sucked on her toes inside the store. This happened in Lincolntown, North Carolina. The woman told police that Michael Brown started talking to her while she was shopping. He told her that he was a podiatrist student and asked if she would try on some pairs of shoes for him. And that's when the victim says that Brown grabbed her foot and then put it in his mouth. Brown is a registered sex offender. He was convicted of attempted sexual assault 13 years ago. Restraining orders are issued all the time, but one in California is by a father who wants a restraining order against his son's alleged bully, a 9-year-old. Tia Ewing spoke with the dad taking that case to court.
It's a place where kids go to learn, but one fourth grader says behind these walls, he's being terrorized.
He came up and pushed me, I pushed him back, and then he punched me right in the face, and then he said, "Ha ha, you got punched."
This 9-year-old says he's a victim of bullying here at Rolling Hills Elementary School in Fairfield.
He used the N-word many times, B-word, S-word.
The Feutner family is fuming.
There's nothing I can do about it.
Saying the harassment has gone on for 5 months and the school isn't stopping it. That's why the fourth grader's dad says he had no choice but to go for a restraining order against a 9-year-old boy.
I'm trying to protect the children from future attack by this young man.
Stephen Feutner only has a first name of the child. He doesn't know the last name because he says the school won't release it.
They told me it's confidential information.
Again, that information is confidential, so the school district won't be releasing any information about him. Watchdogs are raising concerns about the recent hire at the Internal Revenue Service. Internal Revenue Service, I think. Mohammed Weiss Rasul is a financial management and analyst for the IRS, but he has a criminal history. The former police officer was convicted of illegally accessing FBI databases. He served 2 years of probation in 2008 for providing information to a close associate of a known terrorist. The Washington Times says Rasul has gotten a few promotions shy of working around sensitive information contained in IRS audits.
He's already betrayed the public trust once. Are we going to think that he's not going to do it again? This is a question that is a national security question.
So far, the IRS has not commented on that. Congress trying to refund states for last fall's national park closures. Hundreds of parks were closed last October when the government shut down for 2 weeks. Those closures happened at one of the peak visitation times of the year, though. Worried about the effect on local economies, 6 states paid the federal government to reopen the parks, and those states are still waiting to get their money back. Well, last week, a group of bipartisan senators introduced a bill that would reimburse the states, but the bill's future kind of uncertain at this point. A similar bill was introduced last December, but that didn't make it. We have Alan Strom. Where is he? Well, he's out enjoying the sunshine and the 72-degree weather. It's such a hard job out there at Beulah Fest, isn't it, Alan?
Well, I tell you what, it's a perfect day for this, no doubt about it. This runs 2 days, today and tomorrow. It is Beulah Fest. You may remember it was called the Beulah Sausage Fest, but of course they've still got sausage. So that's what's going on right here. They've got this all lit up. This is hot right here where I'm standing. So they got the coals, they got the fire going, and they are going to be cooking up some sausage here at the festival. So this is going to be going on throughout tonight as well as into tomorrow. And the weather really looks pretty perfect because we've got dry weather for tonight and tomorrow, but the rain moves in on Sunday like we've been talking about. And gates have opened. They opened up at 4 o'clock, and they've got some music here that will start at 6 o'clock, and that'll continue on. And then Rodney Atkins will perform tonight at 9:30. And then tomorrow, during the afternoon hours, we've got the Charlie Daniels Band, and Leonard Skinnard is taking the stage tomorrow night. So right now they're getting the sausages ready. It's kind of a quiet crowd right now. They've just got a little bit of recorded music playing in the background. They've got some vendors set up here as well. So there's plenty to eat and plenty to do. And we're going to be talking more about this live on Channel 3 News at 5 and 6. Tickets tonight, $15 before 7, and tomorrow, that's $15 at any time tonight. And then tomorrow it's $15 for the afternoon, and then after 7 it is $20. Kids 12 and under can come for free, and there's also $2 for the parking. And we're at the fairgrounds, so we're here at the fairgrounds where this is going to be taken on tonight as well as tomorrow, and a pretty good spot for it too. So they needed a little bit more space, and they decided that the fairgrounds would be a good spot for it, whereas the Equestrian Center, just not quite as much room when you got these big acts coming in. They're expecting about 10,000 people for tonight, and tomorrow they say they're expecting even more. So weather's going to be perfect. Let's talk a little bit more about that. We'll use one of our cameras now, and you can see how things are looking along the Gulf Coast. A little cloud cover is pushing into the skies, and tonight's weather will end up being partly cloudy out there. Now, our first warning 3D Doppler shows that the weather is dry, so no rain out there now, and temperatures still in the 70s, so we're looking at basically with this cloud cover moving in, mainly some mid to low 70s across the area. And tonight, as we head through the overnight hours, lows will end up being down in the 50s, mainly mid 50s, and then tomorrow we'll hit a high of about 75 with mostly cloudy skies. Our futurecast is calling for more clouds as we head into tomorrow, and then on Sunday, that's when we're going to end up with the rainy weather. So we're live here at the fairgrounds for Beulah Fest, kicked off at 4, running all night and all day and all night tomorrow. Lena?
Hey, don't forget to bring sausages back. Coming up next for you, more trouble for Toyota. A judge has put the company on probation. Plus, you'll soon be able to get more than coffee to drink at your Starbucks. The company's expansion into alcohol coming up.
Traffic Watch, brought to you by Pensacola Honda.
If you are just joining us, let's bring you up to speed. This is a live look at 3 Mile Bridge right now. As you can see, it's a mess. Now, earlier, just a few moments earlier, a car had caught fire. This is a video from your fellow viewer, Mallory Shelton. Mallory, thank you so much for sending us this video. So this is what you're bumping up against. If you're headed into Gulf Breeze, and a lot of people are right now for rush hour traffic, it is at a standstill. Both lanes are closed, and when you see this video, now you know why. Now, that car has since been put out, the fire anyway, but we don't know if anyone was hurt or what started that fire or how long it's going to take them to get that cleared out of your way. Now let's take a look at some pictures sent out from fellow viewers as well. Thank you so much for doing this. This is from Derek Slack, and you can see why they had to shut it down. Again, don't know if anyone was hurt here. But now on the opposite side of things, if you're heading into Pensacola from Gulf Breeze, that's going to be slow as well. You're down to one lane. The center lane is blocked off by all of this. This is another picture from Facebook. Thank you guys so much for sending us all these pictures. We really appreciate you. So if you are in that area, let us know what you're seeing. You can tweet us at WEAR-TV, also on Facebook. Let us know what things are looking like for you. And you see people here on the right-hand side of your screen that are out of their cars. That's never a good sign. That means you're going to be there a good long while. So if you can avoid it, I certainly would. Maybe just enjoy a late dinner here before you head over the bridge. But we are first at 4, so I know you expect us to take a look at some of your other headlines as well, so let's do that now. The IRS is trying to let you know that there is the largest nationwide phone scam ever, is what they're calling it. They say that someone claiming to be with the IRS will call and say you owe back taxes. They say those fees have to be paid with a prepaid debit card or wire transfer. And in some cases, the scammers use some pretty convincing techniques like knowing part of your social security number even. Now, they tell the victims that they could be arrested, tell you maybe you could be deported or lose your business or your driver's license if you refuse to pay up. Well, the IRS says that they would always reach out to you by mail first if you do owe money. They say more than $1 million has been stolen from thousands of taxpayers so far. Don't be one of them. You know, it's going to be a little bit easier for people with lower credit scores to borrow money and buy homes again. For the first time in years, some small lenders are offering subprime mortgages to borrowers who pose a higher credit risk. Now, typically, people with credit scores below 640, subprime loans were once synonymous with that toxic adjustable rate mortgages that led to a lot of homeowners losing their homes during the housing bust. Well, back then, lenders were handing out subprime loans with cheap teaser rates and little no down payments. But now lenders are charging interest rates as high as 10% and requiring borrowers to make down payments as much as 35%. Wow. Netflix is accusing some of the biggest internet service providers like Verizon and Comcast of compromising internet freedom and degrading the experience of you, the customer. The CEO sounded off on a blog about the dispute over whether Netflix should help pay the cost of delivering data-heavy content. He went on to say the big internet providers control internet access to millions of customers and are willing to sacrifice their own customers to press Netflix and others to pay. The CEO of General Motors has been called to testify before a congressional committee next month. The Committee on Energy and Commerce wants Mary Barra about the GM's response to safety problems related to faulty ignition switches. GM has recalled more than 1.36 million cars because of those switches that unintentionally move position, causing the car to lose power, limiting the brakes, your steering, the airbags. GM says it is aware of 31 crashes and 13 deaths that may be linked to that problem. The congressional hearing will take place on April the 1st. And more trouble for Toyota as well. A federal judge has put the company on a 3-year probation. Toyota admits that it deceived regulators about sticky accelerators and floor mats that jam under the pedals. The company has agreed to pay more than $1 billion in fines to end the criminal investigation. But now Toyota will also be closely watched until March of 2017. If there are any new instances of safety flaws being covered up, the case gets reopened. Let's talk about Starbucks. Talk about a double shot, right? This gives new meaning to that. They're looking to add alcohol to its menu in more places now. They're looking to boost their nighttime sales. Right now, only a couple dozen stores sell beer and wine, but over the next few years, you're going to see thousands of Starbucks locations start to sell alcohol as well. Happy birthday, Twitter! The social network turns 8 years old today. Are you one of my tweet hearts? I certainly hope so. Well, to celebrate, the microblogging site has launched a first tweet tool to show you everyone's very first tweet. Twitter promoting the anniversary with the hashtag, well, first tweet. By the way, the very first tweet on Twitter was sent on this day in 2006 by co-founder Jack Dorsey. And what was that exciting tweet? Just setting up my new Twitter. How exciting was that? Coming up next for you, the FDA is blocking the latest sunscreen breakthroughs, the delay in broader spectrum protection. Plus, Floridians could soon see more tax-free shopping days. Oh, you like the sound of that.
First, live, local. You're watching Channel 3 News first at 4 in high definition. Channel 3 News First Warning WeatherNet is brought to you by Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram and Ailstock Whitcomb Crease and Overholtz. Here is Chief Meteorologist Alan Strum.
We are live. Good afternoon to you. We're here at the fairgrounds, and the stage is set for Beulah Fest, which is happening tonight as well as tomorrow, all day tomorrow and tomorrow night. Gates just opened. Already some people are in here enjoying some food. We've got lots of food vendors here as well. And of course, there is sausage. Let me tell you a little bit about what's going on. In fact, on that stage, you know, the local artist, Chloe Chanel, who is on America's Got Talent, will be here, and that's at 6 o'clock. If you want to come out to that, $15 for today. Come grab a bite to eat and enjoy the music. At 7:30, we've got Branded X. And then later tonight at 9:30, it will be Rodney Atkins taking the stage with some good music for you. Now tomorrow we've got the Charlie Daniels Band, we've got Leonard Skinner at 9:30, so a nice lineup here. And they moved to the fairgrounds because they said, hey, we're getting big, we need some more room, and this is where it's going to be this weekend, Friday and Saturday. And I tell you what, they timed it out perfectly with our weather too, because it's going to be great tonight and tomorrow And Sunday's the day when we've got rain, and the festival is just today and tomorrow. So as we take a look at our temperatures around the area, you can see that we're still sitting between 70 and 75 for some areas, with some spots getting a little bit warmer. Not a bad day at all. Little cloud cover moving over the skies now, and it will be a partly cloudy night. Low temperatures are going to be down in the 50s. You'll notice that Pensacola, low 56, Fort Walton Beach 57, Crestview, low 50s there. Milton should see a low in the mid 50s. Maybe you're taking the boat out, maybe the first time this season. Well, the weather not bad tomorrow, a little cloudy, but seas are going to be fairly calm. Winds should be pretty light as well, and the protected waters will just see a light chop. The beach has been busy too. Here's our Safe Shores report, which shows that the surf not too bad out there. It's been fairly calm, so yellow flags will go up shortly when the lifeguards leave, but it was beautiful out there today with some sunshine and a pretty good crowd out at Pensacola Beach and along the northern Gulf Coast beaches. So the 7-day outlook does show a bit more cloud cover for the weekend and a chance for rain. I want to talk about that because wet weather is likely to move in on Sunday. It'll hold off Saturday. Saturday night, small chance. I think even Saturday night it's going to hold off, but it's Sunday that we've got a 70% chance for some wet weather to hit the area. So tomorrow, high of 75, and then Sunday with the cloud cover and the rain, highs will be in the low 70s. Then a front will move across the area on Sunday night, and that changes things for next week. Monday's weather's looking cooler with highs in the low 60s, and we've got temperatures next week that are also going to be a little bit cooler as we head toward midweek. In fact, we could see another night with lows down in the 30s. That's going to be on Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. That is going to be our coldest night. So there you go. That's our 7-day outlook where the weekend is always in view. We are live from Beulah Fest. We'll be back here on Channel 3 News at 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock to bring you the reports. And, of course, at 6, that's when Chloe Chanel will be on the stage. Maybe we'll get a taste to hear some of that music. All right, Lena?
All right, Alan, thank you so much. Want to get you updated again with this breaking news story we've been following for the last half hour. 3 Mile Bridge. A car caught fire earlier this morning. So this is, or earlier this afternoon, excuse me. So this is your live shot here of what we've been dealing with. This is new video sent to us on our Facebook page by Shane Dye. Thank you so much, Shane, for sending that to us. Look at this. Incredible. Now you see why the problems. Gosh, I hope it was safe for him to do that. So if you're heading in, oh, is this a live shot too? Okay, so this must be from the other side of the bridge. Things are not moving along too much, and the problem is close to the center of the bridge, near the hump there. So if you're heading into Gulf Breeze, both lanes are blocked. You see a lot of people in the lanes there, and this is what they're looking like back in Gulf Breeze waiting to get across. So you see nothing coming across into it, and so these are round robin looks so to show you what you're dealing with. So if you're headed into Pensacola, down to one lane, headed into Gulf Breeze, both lanes closed for you right now. We'll keep you updated on our Facebook page and on Channel 3 News at 5. If you're going to be out enjoying the spring weather this weekend, well, don't forget your sunscreen. With that warmer weather, harsher UVA and UVB rays, melanoma, the most dangerous type of skin cancer, affects about 76,000 Americans every year. But as Lana Zach explains, the FDA may be keeping the newest innovations in sunscreen from your store shelves.
With the spring equinox, the sun's intensity is on the rise, and so is the risk for skin cancer.
We are diagnosing more melanoma in children and teenagers and young adults.
Melanoma is the most deadly form of skin cancer, and several experts are worried that bureaucratic red tape at the FDA is keeping the best, newest ingredients away from people who need it the most.
It's frustrating. I make that information known to my patient.
The FDA hasn't expanded its list of approved sunscreen ingredients in the last 15 years. By contrast, millions of beachgoers in Europe, South America, and Asia have access to newer sunscreen ingredients that are designed to provide broader spectrum protection, ingredients that are kept out of the U.S. market.
They are better in that they cover more of the sun's rays, more of the dangerous sun's rays. So the sunscreens that we have now in America cover a small window of the dangerous rays.
The FDA responded in a statement saying consumers have access to a number of sunscreen products that contain active ingredients already approved for use in sunscreens in the United States.
I'm pretty concerned. I mean, melanoma is not something you want to mess around with.
Lana Zach, ABC News, Los Angeles.
More headlines when we come back.